Welcome back to Go Again Gaming and welcome back to round 4 of the league that means nothing to. I'm your commentator today, Ian. I hope you know me by now. If you don't, well, congratulations on your first experience. Today we have a real interesting game. We have an illusionist and a brute. Not traditionally a very good illusionist mashup, but Chris Chalk from Cardboard Swords today is bringing Enigma. Now, Enigma is not your typical illusionist, even. Not your typical illusionist. She generates ward. She is incredibly powerful at fatiguing games against brutes if you can't clear up what's being put out on the board. And if Chris is on haze bendings, those are priority number one. Those are your scab skins targets. You've got to get rid of them because otherwise, every aura with ward will generate more auras with ward. Likewise, Ben is on Levia, who unfortunately has been hit in the great book burning of 2024 by losing her Art of Wars. I don't believe this game was recorded post-banning, so Ben got one last ride of going Art of War, banish Shadowpeed, play Shadowpeed, woo! A really busted combo, but make no mistake about it, that isn't Levia's main game plan. She has Bloodrush Bellow, and she has some of the most above-rate attacks in the game. If you don't believe me, ask Mansant. That guy will tell you her rate is insane. So we are going to have a very interesting game here between Levia, a hero that wasn't always considered top tier, but has really started pushing on the fringes recently. Her problem where sometimes you just explode and blood debt kills you got to be a bit of an issue. And I imagine her ability to flip into Plasma Fet is going to be a huge factor in ensuring that she doesn't run out of threats in this game against Enigma. What Chris is going to be looking to do is tax Levia's hand, threaten with things like Manifestations of Miragai, which, yeah, sure, it's a ward 2, it's a ward 4 if you pitched a Chi, but it's a 8 if you pitched a Chi. It swings for 8. It is incredibly powerful. And let me tell you, from my experience and my testing, if you do not deal with that Miragai, there's a good chance if you don't deal with it for 2 turns, you might just lose the game because you cannot lose life in chunks of 8. Just not on. Now, we get 1 free buyout in Levia if you are running Carrion Husk, but it could behoove Ben to be on a Sash build here to just go face. The longer this game goes, the more the scale tips towards. And with that, I'm going to throw over to the gameplay. We're going to see what happens in this round 4 2-1 versus 2-1 matchup and who is going to move to 3-1 and really try and lock themselves in a spot in that coveted top 8. Someone here wants to win nothing. So it looks like I may have been correct here, and Ben is on the Savage Sash, also running Hooves of the Shadow Beast and Spoiled Skull. So this is a very aggressive equipment setup here from Levia, and we're just going for it. Chris is on what is now considered the standard loadout for Enigma in those Meridian pathways that Final Spring Tunic. That beautiful full art Traverse the Universe, one of the most busted helms of all time, and a face down card, which is definitely a Path of Ancestry. Path of Ancestry? No. We've got a Raid Spectre here from Chris, pitching a blue and a yellow. So when it enters, if you control no other auras, you gain an action point. So it uses your action point, but it gains you 1. On Chris's turn, this is a ward 6, otherwise it's a ward 1. But this allows him to just decide to attack. Instead, he's going to move to the end and Arsenal. Still trying to remember the name of those gloves. All I know is they put a +1 counter on something with ward, which is a pain in the butt. So we have a good start here from Ben. throwing out a Savage Feast. What this will enable him to do is attack for 6 and fill the graveyard. You get 2 attacks into the graveyard right away, possibly draw a card. If not, yeah, so we're going to discard what looks like an Altered Boneyard Marauder signed by Iswardi. We're going to draw a card and send in 6. So no real go again here from Ben, but what we do have is 2 cards in hand. So we have a choice of arsenal, and if one of those cards might be something like an Agile Windup, he can play that out for its ability, discarding it, generating an agility token, and more or less ensuring that despite Chris not attacking on turn 1, he gets his cards in graveyard. After all, that is the big cost of Levia. Not only do you have to manage your blood debt, her big attacks require you to banish 3 cards from your graveyard, and you need to hit 6s. So it's all a careful balancing act, and it is one that gives me a migraine, which is why you might see me playing Cow, might even see me playing Reiner. You will not catch me playing Levia anytime soon. So we've just got a Sink Below here from Chris. Going to allow that Raid Spectre to eat a point of damage, take 1 in total, sinking a card as well. Pretty efficient use of his cards. Ben moving to end, putting the Beast in the bottom, arsenaling a card, drawing up, and we're ready to go. Over to Chris, let's see what he has. So, a Spectral Manifestations. 2 cost. If you've no auras, make a Spectral Shield and put 3 count. So you make a Spectral Shield. If you have no auras, you put 3 counters on it. So for free, this is a Titan's Fist. A good old 0 for 4. My Briar heart is singing at the thought. Just some really high value play here. For the cost of 2 resources, you just get to swing for 4. It's great. And it sticks around. Now he gets a Titan's Fist that can stay on board. One of the fun things you can do with Enigma, in my experience, especially in draft, is play one of these on turn 1, spend the rest of the game keeping it alive, and attack for 4 every turn until your opponent loses. And we're going to play out a Shimmers of Silver. So this is a Spectre Aura that says whenever you attack with an Illusionist Aura, put a +1 counter on it, which is a really good combo with Cosmo, because if you have an aura in play with no counters on it, all of a sudden it gains go again. Simple as. And obviously Enigma wanting those blue auras, wanting to play a very blue heavy game plan due to her need to transcend, generate chi, which can be used to generate more spectral shields, making more ward, giving Levia more big problems. Ben took the 4 here, so he has access to his full grip and his arsenal. So perhaps he is thinking about doing something here. So we're going to pitch, over pitch into Claw. Killing that Shimmers of Silver. I imagine he was holding on to cards in case, anticipating a follow-up from the 4. But great way, very good discipline. Get rid of that spectral Shimmers of Silver. You don't want that spectral shield just getting bigger. So now we're throwing another 4 go again. And we took it the last time. Probably taking it again. Unless we have, I don't know, a Reckless Swing maybe. No, just blocking with a Hungry Slaughter Beast, getting some cards in the graveyard, getting that graveyard fill, taking a point of damage, and seeing what Chris has in his 4-card hand now. Yeah, we just have an Enigma Chimera. Good old 2 for 6, pitching a blue sink below. Very, very neat. I don't expect this to be going too far to deal to pressuring Ben here because it has Phantasm. Levia, she ain't short of 6 power attacks. In fact, for those of you who learned, just taking the 6 here. Ooh. For those of you who learn to play with the Monarch Blitz decks like myself, that occasionally you will find, oh, I have the Prism one. What have you got? Oh, you have the Levia one. This is an unwinnable matchup. This seems fair and balanced and fun and cool and good. And then we're just going to transcend using a Preserve Tradition, putting a Shimmers back in the deck, activating Enigma, making a Spectral Shield, giving it a +1 counter. Obviously with no go again, but Chris gets to move to the end of his turn. Still has a card in Arsenal, so he has a slight intellect penalty here, keeping a card in hand. So what I'll say here for Ben is, we better be expecting something good with this turn. It is, in fact, good. It's a Shadow Realm Horror. Pitching 2, banishing 3. He is sending in the full attack here. 8, go again. 7, go again. All modes are active, so he may play another one of those. Now, the problem is, I don't think he can. Needs more cards in the graveyard, maybe, to throw any of those attacks. Or that, unfortunately, that Savage Feast needs a card in hand as well. So let's see what we've got here. We have a Phantasmaclasm block on 7. I imagine, yeah, a Fate Foreseen. Opt. Covering the 7 here. Leaving that card on top. And we're going to follow up with a Graveling Growl. The other reason to banish cards in this deck. So this is just going to be another 6. We're threatening those Spectral Shields. We're pressuring Chris's hand, where he has currently got 2 cards in hand and a card in Arsenal. Now, this is what I mean. Like, you could think that Levi's big attacks are really going to push the damage through here, but like, Chris has done a very good job of not taking any damage, really. And preserving those auras is a great way to keep going. So we have no chi pitched, but we have a 5 block pitching and losing our 2 power Spectral Shield. And more importantly, keeping our 4 power Spectral Shield. Ben just going to draw up now with 2 cards in the graveyard again, so that he can continue the pressure on and try and clear this Spectral Shield for 4. Ben just, send me the bill. I gotta get this hammer off the board. This is what I'm talking about. That hammer. And it is a hammer. Make no mistakes about it. As they say, every weapon in Flesh and Blood is either Rosetta Thorn or Titan's Fist. Right now, Spectral Shields are Titan's Fist. And now we have a pitch of a blue Wrecker-Romp to Blood Rush Bellow, giving us a discard and draw 2. Now, this is a card. If you haven't been Bruted before, this is some serious power. So that Blood Rush, while relevant and on board, as a reminder, does in fact belong in the graveyard. Very importantly for Levia's hero ability and hero text. So what is Ben going to do with these 2 cards in his hand? 3 cards in his hand now. So we're going to start with a second Blood Rush Bellow. Okay, so we're really going to push some damage here. 4. So we're going to, I imagine it's an odd even. Discard a Weakest Link. Draw another 2. This isn't always the most advisable situation to be in. As someone who's played a lot of Brute, you really want to space out your cards. You want to space out your blood rushes. This might feel really good right now, but Chris is at 39. He can afford quite a lot here. But hey, we've got another claw and we have two cards in hand. So I would imagine there's not a huge problem for Ben to send uh, 24 damage. But really, off two blood rushes in Levia, you don't want to be sending 24 damage. You want to be sending 30 plus. Like really, that's the ideal is like 30 plus damage. Like 24 is pretty average on a single blood rush from KO. But hopefully, this is a good way for Ben to just rip some tempo back. Chris going like, yeah, whatever, take 6. We're at 33. We've 2 floating, so that's another claw. Ben with that Pro Tour Amsterdam. Oh no, he must be pretty low on resources. This is not where you want to be with a double blood rush. It's going like here's 13. Um, very tight on resources. This is not a good spot at all. No, you hate to see it, ladies and gentlemen. Keeping a card in hand, that's going to Arsenal, but also now Ben is going to take some blood debt damage as well. That's rough. I take it Chris might have a card he wants to protect in his hand, or is he just going to take 6 and let it happen? No, we're going to hold the line. So it's going to block 2, prevent 3, total of 1, reveal, no non-blocks. Simple as that, ladies and gentlemen. Simple as that. That looks like another Rage Spectre. So that's a hammer for 6. For those of you keeping track, it's all about hammers and Rosetta Thorns, and Enigma has a plethora of hammers. So yeah, Rage Spectre, pitching a blue, gaining an action point. So we can attack here with this a Rage Spectre for 6. Or use Tunic and send Command and Conquer. This also works. Yeah, just remembering that blood death loss there. I imagine forgotten in all the heartbreak of a mediocre Blood Rush Bellows turn. So Chris coming in here with this Command and Conquer for 6. And Rage Spectre there. So we have a 6 block here. What's Chris gonna do here? Move to Arsenal. Close up. Over to you, Ben. Let's see what you got. Ben pitching a Convulsions from the Bellows of Hell for Endless Maw. So we have 2 incredibly heavy metal sounding names here. So we're going to shuffle up our graveyard, rip 3 cards. I think we have left both blood rushes in there, so our ratio of misses increases, which is not where you want to be. Our blood death increases, not always where you want to be, but hey, you might get to Plasma Fed, who knows? Either way, we're sending in an Endless Maw for a nice casual 8 points of damage. 9 points of damage even. I didn't even see that little blue dice. So I am not sure if Chris cares overly about this Rage Spectre as more than just a Ward 1. And I was right, he does not. Let's go to 24, keep our 5 card hand. Show me what you got, Chris. It's gotta be a good one. Ben drawing 4, has a card in Arsenal. Probably just waiting for a chance to really break through here and push some serious damage. He's been on the back foot for a little while. So pitching a blue, playing a Waxing Spectre with 1/1 counter and sending that in for 4. So it has go again because it has the +1 counter. It has ward 3. So adding 1 to that 3 generates our 4 damage and gives it our go again. It's so shiny that Chris has had to prop it up on a dice so that we can see it properly. Either that or he really wants to show off that rainbow foiling. It's some gorgeous art as well. So this is coming in with go again. Ben saying, yeah, send me the bill. I'll go to 19. Show me what you got. At some point, I hope Ben is planning on blocking with this armor because it's getting a little bit scary now. And there's a Command and Conquer to follow it up. Yikes. Big yikes. So this one might actually prompt a block, or at the very least, the armor block I was talking about could very comfortably give up a card, that glove, and the boots, making sure you get the one. One. Dang. Do you know, I don't often claim to be psychic, but I am able to put together some pretty intuitive turns on how to block at the very least. So now we have -1 on the boots, -1 on the gloves, and a might token generated from that Apex Bonebreaker. Such a powerful effect on that equipment. And pitching a Smashback Galehorn to play Art of War. Rest in peace, Art of War. I miss you deeply. Banishing an Agile Windup, drawing 2 cards. His next attack has go again, and more importantly, Blood Debt is now turned off. Super, super relevant here. Ben just contemplating what he is going to do with this turn. Maybe it's just me as a bit of a greedy gamer, but I always try and get my full block value out of that sash. Oh, that's a nice one. Diabolic Offering. 7 go again. You've banished a 6 power. So this is 7 from the might, as, there you go. There was a might generated from the Apex Bonebreaker, making this a big Diabolic Offering. Another card that really is going to lose out now over the next couple of months with the fallout from Art of War being banned. That I think is now 3 misses in Ben's graveyard. So hopefully, well, he doesn't have to worry too much about it this turn, but it may become a thing sooner or later. Chris going to take it, give up that Wax Inspector, go to 20, and here we have a Command and Conquer of our own from Ben. Finally getting to throw something back, tell Chris, hey, you can't ignore me. And Chris looking at his hand, deciding what 2 cards he's going to block with. It seemed like a pretty easy decision from him. Yeah, we have a 10,000 year reunion and a weakest link. So Ben just going to drop, pass over, but not pass over. That's not in his wheelhouse. And we have a Levels of Enlightenment from Chris, responding with it on the stack with a Stir the Pot, which will allow him to transcend as 2 blues have been played, and he can then activate Enigma to ensure he gets 2 modes out of levels, which are likely, but not guaranteed, to be go again draw card. And here I go again, just calling it like I know what they're going to be doing. I have just played these cards a million times. So we have a 3 go again, into a 2 go again, into some kind of follow-up potentially from Chris. So here we have 2 go again. Who knows? Could become 3 go again if Chris decides he wants to cash in his gloves early. But generally speaking, you save those for Mirror Guy because that 1 counter actually becomes a big deal. And there we have the Savage Sash from Ben, Arsenal from Chris. Move to the end of turn. 20 to 16. Life totals are pretty close now. Ben has really just clawed this game back. Really impressive come from behind stuff from Ben here. So we have a pitch of a Wrecker Rump and a Shadow Realm Horror. Now we have a big issue here. There's a lot of misses in that graveyard of Ben. So we gotta dodge around them as best we can. We want to hit at least 2 here. If we hit 1, we can at least hooves 1, 2. Sure. Maybe I am just a chump and Ben is the goat. So we have, 3 misses. 4 misses, in fact, because of that diabolic offering. If I'm Chris now, I am ripping. 4 misses, didn't even hit 1. Whatever. Hey, Chris, that Levels of Enlightenment is a gorgeous card, but it is not a permanent. You can move that one to your bin. And then we have a nice 7 go again, and Ben very comfortably can play that Graveling Girl or any of the other cards in those 3. And we're really seeing the power of Levia here. These above rate attacks with the additional effects generated from banishing. Very surprised that we didn't get a crack of those Hooves of the Shadow Beast there from Ben. Because that would have been. This looks like it could be a really good turn for that. Generate the action points. I can't imagine we have Ben playing towards Blasmafet right now, though, because at 16, he would have to pass the turn without taking any actions, or at least no actions that involves Blood Debt cards being banished. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. We might just be going for it. Chris thinking about his 5 cards, going like, is it worth it? It's probably worth it. Taking 6, losing a Spectral Shield, going to 14. Let's see what Ben has cooking in his hand. If it's a Dread Screamer, we're running a serious risk here now, knowing that we have 4 misses in our graveyard. Well, no, we don't anymore. That Diabolic Offering is now turned on. We are closing the combat chain to add another hit into that graveyard. And that is the Endless Maw played from Banish. Pitching another Convulsions from the Bellows of Hell. And ripping 3. Oh. Yeah, ripping 2 of those misses straight out of the graveyard. Coming in for a nice 8. A nice solid 8 ball here. And we have a massive increase in Blood Debt this turn, up to 6. Chris thinking about his blocks. Do I want to go to 6? Can I throw 16 back? I imagine we have not seen a Manifestations of Mirror Guy yet, because if we had, there's a good chance though Traverse the Universe would be blocked with, ensuring that we have that chi to make that Mirror Guy as big as possible. Like people thought Mirror Guy was a problem when she was a dragon. Nah, man. Now that she's an aura, she's a problem. Oh, I think I might just be too good at this. Just too good at this game. I am seeing every possible reality here. I am like the Paul Atreides of nothing. Chris opting to take 6 down to 8. Oh, that was not. Ben, for the love of God, please get a dice or something that says 9 on it, because this is throwing me off. Please, for my sake. But yeah, that was 9. Blocking 2, going to 7. Not a lot else going on here. We still have 2 blocking armor if we're Ben. We have the spoiled skull. I'm not sure we're going to be using it. And Chris is now probably doing either an explanation or doing some math. How much damage can I do? How much can I get away with? Because we're not in a great spot here. Take up Tunic. Very well disciplined by Chris. Play Homage to Ancestors and Sacred Art Immortal Lunar Shrine. So we're going to make 2 Spectral Shields. Both with Ward. Both with a counter. We definitely don't have a mirror guy anyway. Let's put that way. Go up to 8. Send in 2 go again for free. A slightly bigger Kodachi. And we know Chris has 2 chi in hand. Well, 1 chi in hand now. We have another 2 go again. Ben does not seem super concerned about that, not even looking at his hand. We'll go to 12. You got something else. I know you got something else. Show me what you got. Chris really thinking about this. Yeah, just take the 2. Sure. Waxing Spectre with a counter. Interesting to note that Chris could have played that one had he sequenced his transcend cards slightly differently and would have been able to give it ward. And now we're going to activate Meridian Pathway with this chi. It doesn't look like we're going to play anything. Oh, we are. We're going to play 10,000 Year Reunion, remove those counters. So he now has ward 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 15. Yes, he activated Meridian Pathway. Play it as an instant. Send in 10. So now Ben really needs to think about this. Because if that, by any chance, Tunic is on 3, I can't see it. It's kind of cut off for me here. That's on 3. Those gloves, whatever their stupid name is, that make this 12. So we have a 4 block here. I need to stop being so right all the time. It's a Waves of Aquamarine, so his attack gets +1, and he gets a 1 block. Not the gloves I was thinking of. Similar effect, but not quite. So this is now an attack for 11 this turn, and he gets a nice 1 block next turn, putting Ben to 1. Yeesh. Ben, 3 cards in hand, 1 in arsenal. Very glad those Beast Withins are on the bottom of his deck, because if you rip one of those right now, you're going to have a bad old time. So we're going to activate the Spoiled Skull, banishing 3 action cards with different names for it, targeting 3 in his banish zone, and choosing 1 at random. He may play it this turn. So we're going to choose Bloodrush Bellow. Realm Horror. That's a really good choice. I imagine we could see this Savage Sash crack this turn as well, depending on what we get from Ben, really thinking about this last card now. He's in a tough L spot, is our Ben. And a slithering Shadowpede. So shuffle them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it looks like it's the middle one there. It's going to be the Shadow Realm Horror. The other two go and stay in the banish zone. Now, I think if you're Ben, you're not getting the use out of that Savage Sash, so you might as well crack her up now. 1, 2, 3. Oh, maybe not. We have 3 misses. That's not great. And if we crack that sash, that's a 4th miss. So we're really playing with fire here. But hey, you're a brute. You got to live that brute life. You got to take a chance. This is why I'm a Scapsians believer and not a Hooves of the Shadow Beast believer. You gotta play to your outs. And sometimes your outs involve rolling the dice. So either way, you're rolling the dice here, Ben. And we need to deal 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 19 damage here. So we have 3 misses. Looks like we're talking about it here. Trying to decide what we're going to do. Ben is in a spot here. Yeah, we're cracking the Savage Sash. Throwing that into the yard as well. It's time to shuffle up that graveyard, Ben. And show him what we got. So we're going to send in a Shadow Realm Horror for 1. We really need to hit at least 1 because then we can crack our hooves and generate an action point. Ideally, we would hit 3 and just keep this train rolling. Either way, I think if you hit 1 or 2, you're cracking that Hooves of the Shadow Beast. Looks like Chris has decided he might roll for this one because it is a big deal. Two piles. 2 piles of 5. So 1 to 5, 1 to 5. Okay. It looks like we have our players really trying to figure out how exactly we're going to do this because Chris also knows how important this is. This dice roll could actually decide how this game goes. So we've got 1, our first choice. We have our second choice. Now we have 8 cards remaining. And we have that one. So let's see what we've got here. We have a 6. A second 6. Hello, cat. She's very cute. Oh my god. Ben, you are some lucky son of a. So that is 7, 8 with the might. Go again. And one of those cards is now playable. Yeah. My heart can't take Levia. I just can't. There's no way. Are we going to crack that savage? Not the savage sash, even those hooves of the shadow beast. That cat really wants to be on camera, man. Ben, Ben, I don't care about this game anymore. Tell me more about your cat. I love your cat. I'll show you pictures of mine if you show me more of your cat. I love them. Chris deciding to just block 2 at least. And then we have 3, 4, 5. So that's 7. So we've got a full cover of this initial Shadow Realm Horror. Still 4 misses in the graveyard. I think, yeah, we're closing the combat chain. Adding another hit into the graveyard. Very importantly, if you close the combat chain, that Waves of Aquamarine gets to block again, which is not an interaction that comes up a lot, but dang, that's brutal. So, Chris, take your equipment off the combat chain, baby. There we go. Waves goes back. Very well noticed by Chris. Cat, hello. Love you. You're my favorite. My favorite Flesh and Blood player is now Ben's cat. So, 1 resource. Counting. Got our second Shadow Realm Horror of the turn. 2 cards in hand, 1 in arsenal. Those 2 cards are now in the banish zone permanently. The Blood Death no longer matters because if it's a single point, Ben explodes. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 piles of 4. Middle one. 4th one. And now we have 1. We have 6 cards total. We have 1. Nope. Ben, what are you doing? 2 modes. 7 go again. You are the luckiest person alive. I swear to God. And we still haven't cracked Hooves of the Shadow Beast. What? Are you actually praying to Plasma Fett? Because this is ridiculous. This is some ridiculous stuff here. Man. Now we're going to activate Enigma. Making a Spectral Shield. Turning on the boots, the Meridian Pathways, which is gaining Ward 3. So that is going to be another 6 block. Oh, yeah, we are cracking the hooves. Smart decision there, man. Gaining our action points. Crystal with like 2 cards in hand here. And now has back to Ward 11 on the board. So what are we going to do with 3 cards and 2 action points? Probably something decent. I should hope. Otherwise, we're kind of wasting our time here. Come on, Ben. It's really now or never here. Show us all what you've got. Yeah, that's a Boneyard Marauder for free. Great thing about Savage Sash. This is still free. Going to 1 action point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. And then we can close our combat chain again. Ben, simply don't whiff. It's that easy. Some people are just built different. Yeah, so we're just gonna eat it with that big old thing. Are we moving to the end of turn? We are. I fully expected 1 more attack there. That Hooves of the Shadow Beast didn't really do anything in the end. Chris, if you're asking for a blood debt count, I don't think it matters, man. Yeah, so we're sending in Lethal Go again. And then we're going to go levels, pitching, a pass over, choosing a plus, and we're going to die. Cool. I got a feel for you there, Ben. That was an incredible turn. And if Chris did not have that 10,000 year reunion, I'm pretty sure there was not a lot he could have done with probably the craziest Savage Sash turns. For how anemic your double Blood Rush turn was, that Savage Sash turn was insane. Like, legitimately crazy. Really well done. And Chris, as always, like, super clean. Uh, Man's just a full time illusionist pilled gamer, and he played that super well, moving to 3-1 in a league that means absolutely nothing. Well, it might mean something to him, and really, that's all that matters. This is a league for the love of flesh and blood, after all. So if he is loving the game, if he's loving life, and he's having a good time, can't really ask for more than that. Super clean game, guys. Commiserations on your 2-2, Ben. Congratulations, Chris. 3-1. Let's look to lock that spot in the top 8. If you have enjoyed the video, if you're enjoying the league, that means nothing. If you want a little piece of nothing for yourself, make sure you like the video, comment, subscribe, tell us that you want in on the next one, where Rosetta is legal, new ban list is fully in effect, and we're going to see the fallout from a brand new set and the return to the candlehold of Arya. I've been Ian. I hope you enjoyed my commentary. If you're looking to find me, you can find me on Twitter at finals_spirit, and I will just see you in the next one.